everyone, welcome to another Stretch the Sketch video. This sketch is from the Hip Kit Club designed by Jill Sprott, and we will be taking this again and making anything but a 12 by 12 layout. So this time I am making 8.5 by 11. Last time I did 9 by 12, so I thought it would be interesting. I've never done an 8.5 by 11 to see what it was like doing something on a smaller, an even smaller scale. So I'm using the Marvelous paper pad that I won from the Paper House Productions YouTube Hop for this layout. It's a photo of my husband and I on a date night. Well, it was a date afternoon. We really don't do date nights. We had recently where we picked up some food and went to the local park just to sit and talk and not be running around after little ones. So the photo size is 4 by 4. I'm going to pattern that after the middle photo in the sketch. And I am going to do paper layering like they have in the sketch, except I'm going to use a banner shape for my length. They have all of their layers coming, down from the very top. I'm going to do my banner as the down piece and then my layers to the side. So I'm battling the size a little bit here. Like, I didn't feel like it was long enough to just use that 6-inch portion from the very top. So I'm going to take this border strip off the sticker sheet from the paper pad, use that at the very top, and then I'm going to move my banner down just a little bit to make my photo and paper layers take up a little more of the entire area. I'm also going to create a cluster down in the bottom right-hand corner. That isn't on the sketch, but that's the beauty of a sketch, right? It's just a jumping off point. So here's how I'm creating my banner. I just fold it in half. That way I know my sides are even. When I do small pieces, I do clip up the middle and then just clip, from each side to the middle. But I find when I do a larger piece, just folding it in half really helps my banner, at least for me, be a little more even. So I backed it originally with some black, and then I chose some of the green paper. There was a green paper on the, 4 squared paper that I chose, but that was a little more aqua green maybe, where the one I chose was actually a green, and it seemed to work better since we were outside. And then I started with the pink, and what I'm looking for here is something to use on the right hand side of my photo as a layer. And I thought maybe I would try this aqua piece. Maybe I could use it, as a small banner, but it just wasn't wide enough and it wasn't quite the right aqua that I wanted. So I do go back to that square that was from the original paper I had picked out. And here's where I'm debating banner or not. But I end up going with my original idea and just making my paper layers stick out to the right hand side. So I'm going to trim it down, and there's my layers. Pretty easy peasy, right guys? But these colors just popped off this black so well that I didn't feel like I needed any more than what was there. So I feel like I can see that the light changed here, but nothing changed in my space. So it's not like a daylight issue because there is no daylight where my desk is. So it's all just, lamps and lights. So I'm not sure quite what changed. But here I'm going to work on the paper portion of my clusters. Oop, you see me changing the television there. I actually got to do this. My husband took the kiddos on some errands on a Saturday morning so that I could work on this in peace. I generally have the kids around, so through the magic of editing, you don't always see how much they interrupt. But in this particular circumstance, he's like, "Oh, I got some errands to run. I'll take them with me. You can get it done, quickly and quietly." So the layout didn't even take me an hour. Now that I'm filming, I'm finding that most of my layouts take me about 45 minutes to get done. And this one was no different. You're going to see, though, that the majority of my time is spent on the embellishments. The paper layers came together, rather quickly. Even the cluster in the right-hand side. But you're going to see, I don't know really. I have the sticker sheet. It comes with the paper pad. But it didn't give me anything, big enough that stood out enough to put kind of as a main embellishment. So this is a piece from the cut-aparts that I'm just going to fussy cut out. And I don't know if you can tell on your screen, but it has many different gold layers with the pink marble look between them. And you'll see I'm going to go back and forth on the size. I'm going to start out with just cutting out the outline. And then I know it's too big, so I'm going to cut off one more of the gold layers. And then I'm going to cut off another one of the gold layers until I decide that I like it. I didn't like the round. It wasn't even a size issue. It was a shape issue. So I cut off another one of the gold layers that leaves a triangle shape. And at some point I also bring in another one of the 3x4 cards that I cut a piece out of and audition that. You'll see it coming up rather shortly. I want to say it's the next thing I do, but I can't be certain. I'm voicing this maybe a week after I actually did the layout. So here I'm using my Signo Uniball white pen. I actually just recently got this. I usually use a jelly roll, and I'll tell you what a difference this one is compared to the jelly roll. This is so much better. It's smoother, it's more consistent. I don't particularly have to wait for it to dry like I did with the jelly roll. So there you go. Here's where I'm gonna cut apart that 3x4 card. It does not make it onto this layout. It was too much gold. I didn't mind the gold accent of the pink one, but this entire gold foiled was just too much. But I actually used that in my planner spread this week. So it did not go to waste. So now I'm going to cut off the last layer of the embellishment I do end up using. This is the one I do end up sticking with. But I think the size makes all the difference. Even as I'm watching this, I'm going, nope, don't like it. Nope, don't like it. But when I get down to the end, I like the one and the size that I ended up choosing. So I'm looking for something in the lower right-hand corner. That's one of the stickers off the sheet. But I didn't think it was big enough, so now I'm going to try to make my own embellishment. And there's the green paper from, the original block that I started with. But for me, since I used the turquoise paper up the top there, it just sank in way too much. Like it didn't stand out enough. So I end up using just a regular gray and white marble looking piece. And I do try to use the scallop, but it didn't do anything for me in this particular circumstance. I even tried outlining the scallop, which was just, it was a visual disaster. So that went right in the trash. You'll see it here. I do it and I throw it right away. And I go back to my traditional circle with a gold heart. I ended up going for the puffier gold heart rather than the narrow one. And then I go back and I look at my Tim Holtz Tiny Words to put on top of there. I really like the Snarky book, just because it's fun, but they were all too long for that small space. So you're going to see I picked out this sticker because of what it said, and I tried to put it all different places on the layout. You're going to see me leave it there, pull it up. I put it on top of the sticker book there for a little while. I bring it back. I audition it in some other places, and I end up not using it at all. Yep, see, I'm going to stick it to the side there in a second, and you'll see it come back. So because of the paper layers, I needed to put some dimension behind that large embellishment. So I used foam on the right-hand side because that's where there was the least amount of paper layers. And then I just used 2 foam dots where I needed them in the other corners. Otherwise, the paper layers held everything up appropriately. So not too much longer, guys, and I'm going to be done. The rest of it comes together rather quickly. I pull that star back out. It was perfect for that corner. And there, see, I tried to get that phrase back on there again. Then you'll see I try to put a smaller one on, and I end up going with just your traditional enamel dots. I use both white enamel dots, and I use puffy hearts in pink and white. I need some more white enamel dots. All of the ones I have now are the larger ones, and I find I tend not to use those so much. So my title will go on shortly. I used 2 different fonts, one by Jelly Bean Soup, and then I think the other one was just a set of thickers I've had in my stash for a long time. Oh, some Dilutions spray. I use that for my white splatters. It's my favorite. At this point, I haven't found anything else that stays white on black. So thank you for joining us again, guys, for another round of Stretch the Sketch. We're going to try to do these monthly. I do have a playlist with all the other girls' videos in it and the past videos that we have done. Also in the description box below will be links to some of these supplies and where you can get them, as well as the links to all the other girls' videos. So I hope you will leave us a comment. I hope you'll hop along and see the rest of the girls' inspirations on how to stretch your sketch, and I'll be sure to talk to you soon. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.